Namaste, this is Das, and welcome to the Why Hold On series. In the previous dialogue, we looked at expectations, and today we will look at compromise. Now, let's take a moment. What are the generic layman definitions of compromise? Some say, I am willing to sacrifice something so we can achieve this goal. Some say, I will meet you halfway there. Some say, I'm compromising because if it wasn't for you, I would have done something else. Some say that it wasn't my first preference, but I'll do it anyways. Some say, I wish I was not to do this, but now I have to do this. These are just layman definitions, but you can find more accurate ones. And these are more in interpersonal relationships where we are talking about. Now, the definitions are what the definitions are. What we are going to investigate, is that what really happens in your life? Or is that something that you believe, it's a feeling you carry that you're compromising? Let's look at it. See, when you make a choice, you have so many assumptions. You have the assumptions of the good parts and the pleasurable parts and the happy parts, and then not so pleasurable parts, the painful parts. But they are within your range of understanding. You comprehend the pleasure and the pain, and you keep some room for your tolerance. But then there's parts which you don't like doing. They were in your linear understanding, in your logical understanding, in your emotional understanding. It doesn't make sense to have those possibilities necessary for that objective. So, what you call compromise, if you look carefully, are these assumptions which are unwanted assumptions, which are not giving you pleasure, rather they are just doesn't make sense to you, but you have to do it because you're still playing that game. So these are the new discoveries which according to you have no role to play in your objective, but you are discovering them now. And because you don't like it, or they're uncomfortable, or they're not pleasurable, you label them compromise. Why? Because you couldn't perceive it before? Do you need to perceive everything before? It is not a compromise. Have a look. Compromise means that you want to be doing something else. But what you are saying is, I'm not changing the objective. And now you are saying, oh, well, I want to do the same objective, but within that objective, I don't see how this choice has a significant role to play, but I'll do it anyway. So you first want to control. And when you can't control, you give those assumptions to someone else. You're saying, well, I have these expectations from you. When they fail, you say, I'm compromising. But look at the factual point, which you don't question or you don't want to question. You are still doing exactly the same what you thought you will do. You are focused on that objective. So why classify it that it is something you don't want to do? You don't understand it, noted. You don't comprehend it. You don't perceive it. Okay. But you're not sacrificing anything. You're doing precisely what you value most. Why? Because if you look at it that way, you will notice that out of these millions of choices, you are making a very informed choice. In a very small point in time, you evaluate everything and you prioritize what you're about to do. But why don't do it from a place of joy and fun? Why call it a compromise? Why? Because either you only do two things. You are either saying, I am compromising, or you are telling someone else that they must compromise. And for others to compromise, you even add a little bit more weight to it. You add morality to it. Because you don't just say, if it's a husband or a wife, or a parent or a student, you don't say, a husband must do this. To make sure it works your way, you will say, a good husband will do this. Now, it becomes a choice for the other one. The weight is for the other one to carry. Am I a good husband or not? Or a good wife will do this. And she has to understand, is she a good wife or not? A good student will do this, and you have to automatically classify yourself as good or not good. So that addition of morality just adds weight to the so-called compromise. But why play this game in this fashion or in this way? Why? It's like, look at any athlete. They all are brilliant examples. A boxer doesn't say that he trains at 5 a.m. in the morning, he goes into the ring and gets some punches from the other fellow athlete or his opponent, and doesn't say I'm compromising. No, that he says that I've made a choice, and known or unknown opportunities, that options, those assumptions, it doesn't matter. They don't call it compromise. But in interpersonal relationships, it's very easy to give that guilt trip to someone else, saying, hey, I'm compromising for you. Although the reality is, you're making a very powerful choice. You're saying, out of these millions of choices, I would like to make this choice as my absolute choice. The only thing is, you will discover some things which are not your pleasurable points. Well, you have to make a decision at that time. And you do. You make a decision to go with the flow because you're still focused on that objective to achieve it with that person. And that person could be your business partner, but you're emotionally invested in the business, or personal partner where you're emotionally invested with that person and you want to achieve a marriage or something. Or it could be emotional investment towards your parents or towards your children. Doesn't matter. Any relationship where you're emotionally invested. But there is no room for compromise. You should be very proud that I'm doing this because this is a choice I make over all the other choices. Because, see, human beings are so beautiful. And we have so much creativity, we have so much imagination, and we can live so much of a joyful life. But we constantly keep using assumptions on top of assumptions on top of assumptions because we first get fixated that this thing is connected to my happiness. Then we say we would like to impact the outcome by controlling it this way or that way, behaving in a certain way, negotiating with life. Then you give that gift of expectations to someone else. It's your dreams, but you give that burden to someone else. Then you say, okay, when that is failing, I will compromise. Why go through this circus of life? Why don't become so powerful that I'm making these choices, I'm making these decisions, and I'll go in absolutely to the end? And it is not a suggestion that walk away from something when it is so difficult. No, not at all. Rather, what I'm saying is that go through the full cycle. Go to the intensity of it because that's where the beauty is. Otherwise, every time you will just do half cycle, which is pleasurable, or some pain, which is acceptable to you. And when it's too much, okay, well, that's compromising. Either I'm going to walk away or I'll do it with the feeling that I'm compromising. Why are you compromising? Who has put a gun to your head? If you are watching this, then absolutely you have the time, the window, and the device to watch it. Nobody has put the gun to your head. So you are absolutely free. And the reason why we are having these dialogues is because this is all preliminary work. Until we stop this nonsense of all these aspects of life where all of them are just assumption after assumption after assumption. Rather, you should just explore. Drop these assumptions, drop the fixation on the goal. Go fully, explore fully, enjoy every moment of it. Even if it is tiring, it is exhaustive, but there is a beauty about it. And you can enjoy that beauty. But if you call it compromise repeatedly, you make this beautiful life into something. It's like leaving a sour aftertaste in a beautiful dish. So, the question that I leave with you is that why are you holding on to this kind of mentality that compromise is a virtue, it's a good thing? Why compromise at all? Don't bother. Don't compromise with nobody. But do every choice, as a decision, as a powerful place. And then you will know the power stays with you. You are doing it absolutely as a choice. And if you want to walk away, take full responsibility of it to walk away. And everything you have created, attend to it. Or if there's consequences, deal with it. But that's a full cycle, isn't it? Why only say these are the good things, these are the bad things, and these are the unexpected things, and they are compromised? And funny part is, any surprise that comes as a in the life cycle of your choice, if it's a very good positive thing, you don't say, I'm compromising. See, if you're married and to your husband or wife um, wins a lottery or makes so much wealth or large businesses or buys a big home, you don't say it's a compromise. You say, oh, wow, that's brilliant. Love it. But if you have to change a restaurant, if you have to attend to the relatives, if you have to do something which you don't want to do, but your partner wants to do, that's a compromise. Why? Because you don't want to do it and it's discomforting to you. And that's okay. But then don't do compromise, walk away. Walk away fully. But don't walk away to change the circumstance. Don't walk away to saying, okay, it's not working with this. Let me start again. Let me start again. Because no matter what, inevitably you will come into that position repeatedly, again and again and again, because you don't want to do it and life is not going to leave you alone. So you have to decide, do it from a position of power, do it from a position of decision making. So, and don't use it as a virtue. Don't use it as an umbrella that it's a great thing to do. No. Live freely. That's all my recommendation is. And this dialogue is about stopping for a moment, pausing, and you can see what your choices are, why you're doing everything that you're doing, that you believe in, that you're having fun with. But don't label it compromise. It is not required. So question yourself, why hold on to this idea of constantly feeling that you are compromising in life? That is one suggestion, one question. You can reflect on it. Reach out to me if you like, if you have any comments and suggestions. Otherwise, namaste. This is Das. Have a great day and have a great week ahead. And I will meet with you in our next dialogue. Bye bye.